right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Double Dribble Podcast. As always, I'm Destin.
And I'm Drew. So yeah, let's get
Drew.
into it, man.
Yeah, man. So this is episode 18. We had to go live. The Suns game just ended, but that's not the biggest headline right now. And
Yeah, Draymond.
this clown, Draymond Green, $100 million man.
Out here foot stomping people like the
Bruh, like he
UFC.
like they said Draymond, he don't need to be in the NBA, he need to be in the WWE. So
be in the
I mean,
UFC.
for real, bro. All right, so for anybody who hasn't seen the video, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, it was a little late. But
Yeah. Did you hear Shaq's defense for it and everything? Like Shaq was saying that like
I
he would do
didn't.
it too. Oh man, nah.
Oh, he said that?
No, so Shaq was saying, yeah, like he was trying to pull me. If he was trying to pull me down like that, I would have stepped on him as well. And then he said he would do the exact same thing. And they asked him like, is it a dirty play? He said, yeah, absolutely, it's a dirty play. But like he said that like he deserved it basically. Is what you're saying for pulling his leg.
This dude here.
Yeah,
right.
They were just talking about it on inside the NBA and like
Uh-huh.
I kind of agree with what Chuck said. He said basically like if Draymond didn't do all his extracurricular stuff after if he wasn't like running around the court getting into it with the fans, I feel like all the extra attention that he did made it worse. If he had just did that and then maybe he kind of like realized he messed up and kind of looked like maybe like he felt like that or reacted in that way, they might not have came down on him. Because now they're saying that I'm back. Okay, what you said?
No, I was just gonna say, like, do you think his history of doing these foolish, dirty, idiotic things led to his suspension?
Yeah.
Because whether they can say he has like plausible deniability, like, oh, he was grabbing my ankle and I had to catch my balance. Whether that's true or not, he's a like repeat offender, punching somebody in the face, hitting somebody in the nuts, kicking somebody.
I think they said that his history played a factor into it, but I think it wasn't just the history. I mean, yeah, of course, like he's because he's been doing stuff like this for a while, but I feel like it was the history and the histrionics.
Yeah, gotta
the
be
histrionics is definitely.
Hey, I want you to pull up because I know you want to talk about your Kings, man, but. I dropped the link for you, but I'm gonna show everybody. If you haven't seen the video, which I'm sure everybody have seen it, this is the video we're talking about. This is the situation we're talking about. And Draymond curb stomps Sabonis, and I really Sabonis is. Man, Sabonis, I'm sure it hurt, but he is selling the hell out of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, it's hard for me to not watch it and not like laugh at Sabonis, even though it's not right. Like, the way he was reacting was like,
it was insane. Hold on, I'm gonna bring my boy Justin up here real quick, man. Hold on.
Yeah, get him in on this.
Justin, man, what you think about
I told y'all.
Hey, calm down. Calm down a little bit.
Hey. I know you hype now because I know you was a little hype yesterday when they won, but now that Draymond is suspended, these dudes really can win this series, bro.
I'm borderline about to say Kings and folks. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh my God. No. All right. All jokes aside. All right. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was a moment in the third quarter where I thought the Warriors had finally figured the Kings out. It was when Steve Kerr had finally decided I'm not playing Jordan Poole for the rest of the quarter. And he had Gary Payton in. It was Gary Payton, Steph.
Jordan Poole been tweaking, by the way. I think he hurt.
It was. Is he hurt?
Yeah,
If he's hurt, then that explains it. But if he's
yeah.
not, that man's playing like ass.
Yeah, he dealing with an injury, but he out of there.
But yeah, see, he sat him down. And it was Steph. It was Gary Payton. It was Clay, Andrew Wiggins, and Draymond. So they went small, and they were literally running the Kings off the court. I think they had gotten the lead up to like 6 or something like that, and then Mike Brown made.
Was this in the third quarter?
This is the third quarter. They went by 6, and Mike Brown made a smart ass decision. And instead of keeping Sabonis in there like every other team would do, and try to out rebound the Warriors, he said, "Okay, you trying to go fast? We'll go fast." And he put Darren Fox, Malik Monk, Davion Mitchell, and them boys is going nuts on him. That backcourt, along with Davion Mitchell, is elite.
Yeah, Davion Mitchell, if he can hit shots, he is gonna be.
He's gonna be
that's huge for them because he brings them a lot of defensive capabilities, especially to guard Steph. Because he got the speed. I mean, he got the lateral quickness.
They started getting forcing them into some turnovers.
Yeah, and if he can hit shots, because he hit the dagger 3 at the end of the game. If he can hit shots and score, look out for real.
Yes, he was Davion Mitchell was such a big piece of them winning yesterday. Because I was right on my intuition of saying that Malik Monk that wasn't a fluke. Malik Monk is the real deal offensively. He could put up buckets.
Yeah,
I don't know about no
30. Andrew, you did say he wasn't gonna do that again.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't do that again. He had a good game.
He didn't drop 30. He didn't drop 32. But I think he dropped like 20, right?
He had 18. He had a good game.
He had a good game, especially considering he's coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? And but what you didn't have in game 1, you got this game. Like Kevin Huerter, he's trash from the 3-point line. But as soon as he finally said, "Okay, I'm gonna start going, and I'm gonna start going into the paint,"
but he was still being aggressive.
Yes,
and that was huge for him. Because I was like, bro, is he gonna take every shot? But he was, but he was hella aggressive.
He's
So this is my question to y'all: how much better, or how much? Well, not how much better. How much more confident are you guys in the Kings' defense after what you saw from game 2?
Man, I ain't like that's a good question. I think they definitely showed the ability to defend. I think with Golden State, having Mike Brown, especially the familiarity he has with their offense and their like personnel, he's like the perfect coach for you to have right now because he's a defensive minded coach and he knows their scheme, he knows their system, he knows what they want to get to, and especially them not having Draymond, who is like their playmaker, their connector.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge for this game.
That's gonna be huge for this next game. That's gonna be huge, especially and Mike Brown. He knows what they want to get to now. It's gonna be different. I think the only way the Warriors can win this next game, they have to win a shootout. It's gonna have to be a shootout because they best defender gone, and it's gonna be hard as hell to win a shootout against against the number 1 offense in NBA history.
I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I know I'm gonna sound even crazier than me saying the Kings was gonna be up 2-0. It's gonna sound crazy. The Warriors finna win game 3.
All right.
I think they're gonna win game 3 too.
Because they have Draymond off the court. Because as much as Draymond is, as much as praise as we need to give Draymond for how well in sync they are on the floor defensively when he's on the court, and how well he's able to still make stuff, the offense run fluid with his playmaking skills and whatnot. He's a liability shooting wise. He hit that 3 in the first quarter. I think he scored like 7 points in the first quarter, and he was like virtually like ineffective outside of playmaking.
But what about exactly? And that's a huge factor. And what about
No,
playmaking and
well,
defense?
well, if we go back to 2021 in the NBA Finals, Steph is capable of getting his shit off on his own.
But okay, no, that's fine. But what about the other end of the court? Because
On the other end of the court, we saw last game when you put Kuminga in for a decent dosage. Moses Moody, I don't think Moses Moody needs any minutes whatsoever. In my opinion.
I still think I agree with this. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think the Warriors
I don't think
can win this game.
it'll be a shoot. I think it'll be a shootout, but I think the fact that you're able to put more people in that can shoot better than Draymond. I think that opens the window more for the Warriors. I think
they got to get something out of Poole in this game, honestly.
Oh,
you got
100%. All of this is depending on what Poole gives them when Steph sits down. Because when Steph's in the game, they're right there with the Kings, if not better. It's when Steph sits down.
Yeah. For this next game, you got to get something out of Poole. Like it's mandatory because it's like I said, it's gonna have to be a shootout. Their best defender is gone. Whether you think like Draymond hurts the offense or not with his inability to shoot the ball, he brings you a lot defensively, and you saw that at the end of the last game because when Draymond was out, they were just attacking the paint relentlessly, and that's when they pulled off and won the game. So this man.
This could be Sabonis' best game right here. I mean, he had a pretty good game too.
I think it's good for them that they going home because if this was the other way around, they was going to Sacramento. Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Why they could win the shootouts because their first game back home, they could have one of those games where like everybody, Wiggins gets hot from three, hits 5 threes or something like that.
Because role players play better at home anyway. So
and Wiggins just has some really.
Because A. Wiggs ain't played in the Chase Arena for like 2 months.
And I remember like he has some crazy games there as far as shooting the ball. So I can see him going off.
I could see them going off.
You say Fox and 4.
The reason why I'm borderline want to say the Kings and 4 is because I don't think it's a coincidence that the Sacramento Kings are the best road team in the West. I don't think that that's a coincidence.
Well, hey.
So I feel like the defense won't travel. So the defense that they played at home, I don't feel like it's going to travel. But I think if Draymond's not there, that unlocks the ability for Sabonis to be able to get even more mismatches.
Something to keep an eye out on. I just saw a notification say Sabonis is questionable for tomorrow with a sternum contusion.
He got a bruised rib.
Well, I don't know. Wait, is it tomorrow? Is the game tomorrow?
He got a bruised rib, man. If you don't take that,
it is. No, it's Thursday. It's Thursday.
Yeah, he's gonna play.
Yeah, it's Thursday, man. If you don't, if it's still sore, you better tape it up and get on the court, bro.
Anyway, I don't see him sitting out this game.
There's no way, man. No.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. So what y'all think really happened with that with that whole sequence? I'm gonna give y'all my version.
Y'all go ahead first.
Some of the Draymond thing?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what happened. So when I saw the play, they were just like trying to hustle, try to get the rebound, and I saw Sabonis fall, and like when you fall, let's say you'll fall hard on your shoulder or like on your neck or something, you'll like try to favor it. You'll try to be like, you try to grab your shoulder or something like that. You be like you just hit your shoulder. What happened was
you gotta play it off.
Yeah, so what happened was when he fell and he tried to like favor the area he fell on, Draymond's foot was just right there. And Draymond was lifting it to try to run. And then it got stuck in between Sabonis' arm. Now, did Sabonis intentionally try to like grab Draymond? I don't know. Maybe he felt his foot and tried to grab it a little more. When Draymond lifted it,
I'm thinking the same thing you thinking.
Yeah, when Draymond he felt Sabonis grabbing his grabbing his arm. I mean, grabbing his foot instead of like trying to move it to try to. I mean, I know you got to try to catch your balance and to step. He probably could have stepped right on Sabonis again, but to stomp that hard, bruh.
Man, I saw a meme on TNT that night where they were talking about it, and it was Stone Cold Steve Austin stumping a mud hole in the rock. I was like, that is the perfect depiction of what I just saw. That is the perfect depiction of what I just
went
saw.
full Seth Rollins on his dude. Bro, this dude is a maniac, dog.
Man, I agree with the masses that Sabonis grabbed his leg on purpose. I mean, you look.
I think when he favored his arm, he didn't know Draymond's leg was right there. But once he felt it, then he grabbed it some more. I'll say that. I don't think he intentionally failed to try to get his leg.
I saw him wait a little bit when he hit the ground, but and it was almost like cover his face so he don't get stomped in the face. But once you grab a man's leg, like, yeah, it's hard for me to be able to extend it. I get Draymond from that standpoint, but I watched Draymond and fuck Stone Cold. Seth Rollins is the perfect one. That boy jumped like I'm over exaggerating. He jumped 50 feet in the air, stomped his ass out.
Bro.
And then ran off like he ain't do nothing. I don't think it was warranted for a suspension. I thought a fine would have been just fine, but I'm not surprised that they suspended him for this because they suspended him for much more in the past. So, and this is nothing new.
Yeah, nah, man.
No,
what you think, Drew?
What? This is my question to you guys. You go ahead and tell us what you saw, Drew, and then answer this question for me. What do you guys think about him being a Golden State Warrior for this long, being a key piece to the dynasty that is the Golden State Warriors for this long, and him still not realizing how much he means to this team?
Honestly, I think that because they've had so much success, and Draymond, he has a huge ego. You could tell. So, the fact that he's been so instrumental in them winning championships and being such a key player as far as a playmaker, a defender for them, he has a greater outlook, I think, on himself than anybody else, right? And so, because he's even said he thinks he's the greatest defender of all time, right? And so I think that he thinks he doesn't really he thinks he can get away with more things than he can, honestly. I don't think he holds himself accountable as he should. And so a lot of times he does things and he doesn't really think about it because he has a larger viewpoint of himself than what he probably really deserves to have. But
yeah, I think when I saw the suspension, I can't help but think how many times we can make an argument that Draymond has potentially cost Golden State multiple
at least one championship.
Yeah, at least one.
Yeah.
Now, if let's say he's suspended and they end up losing this next I'm gonna drop the link for you, Dre. Let's say he's suspended. Just look in the comments. Let's say he's suspended and they end up losing this series. That's another potential championship run he cost them. What about when what else happened? And I mean, you can make an argument that he ran KD off being an idiot, and that costed them potentially other championship runs. I know they was injured, so it's it's unpredictable, but it's man, dog, this dude dirty, immature idiocy is kind of costing this team. I forgot, it's something else he did last year, but it didn't really cost him.
It was I want to say it was the Grizzlies series.
Oh, you know what? I know he got ejected.
No. It was the Celtics series. It was in the NBA Finals. It was in game 2, I believe. No, it was game 1. where he did something and the excuse he gave was like, I'm trying to fire up the team or something like that.
I thought he almost got suspended in the finals too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to find what it was.
Yeah,
But
he for sure almost got suspended, but I don't remember what it was. But I know his excuse was, I was trying to fire up the team, and that's typically what his excuse is usually for doing these things. He's trying to fire up the team. You know how Draymond is. I hate that excuse. You know how somebody is. Like if this is odd behavior, if this is bad behavior, this is bad behavior. It don't matter
yeah,
what it's for.
and I'm trying to figure out who is the other player or the coach over there that's gonna check Draymond. Like, is Draymond? Are you gonna continue to do your podcast if y'all continue to lose, or you
Yeah, to
continue
me,
to get suspended?
that's the funny thing is like this man is this man really gonna hop on a podcast? And what's he gonna say on his next podcast?
Oh no! 'Cause
Like, bro,
remember, after
somebody has to go to his
after he
house,
punched Jordan
unplug
Poole,
the
he
internet.
didn't say nothing. After he punched Jordan Poole, he didn't say nothing.
Yeah, he didn't say nothing. He was ghosted. He was ghost on,
Yeah.
on the podcast for a minute. He eventually got on there and like gave like a little half-hearted attempt at addressing it. But
Wait,
yeah,
y'all remember when he what he did? I think it was like right before the season started. He came out with like a whole like 30 for 30, talking about like the punch. I was like, bro, what is up with this dude?
oh man, no, it's gonna be worse if they lose this. Oh no, yeah, if they lose this game, and like and then what is he gonna say when he gets home?
You go down 3, bro. The Warriors go down 3-0. You are a pivotal piece of their offense, of their defense specifically, but also their offense.
No matter what happens, if they lose this game, like they're gonna be looking at
you can
like,
blame
no matter
Draymond. Yeah, no matter what, no matter how you slice it, Draymond is going to be the first person that gets the that gets the fingers pointed at him, because Steph is playing at a high level. Clay is playing at a high level.
Yeah, Clay was
decent
clutch shots in both games.
People probably gonna blame Poole, but I mean he playing hurt.
I mean, even
but Draymond punched Poole. Poole could be
Yeah.
Hey, that's
so
coming
full
circle.
You can blame a concussion.
But it's like that punch really like changed that season. I don't know.
Full circle, man.
It changed the
It really
dynamic
did. If you look at it.
Look, it was on some Markel Fultz shit. It changed the way he shoots. Changed the way he shoots.
That Markel Fultz shit crazy.
I mean, for real though, he has regressed this season, right?
Yeah, no, he really has like regressed. He was never a good defender, but like I saw some signs last year. I've never been high on Jordan Poole, but I saw some signs last year of him being more consistent offensively. That is like taking like a backflip this year. But I'm looking at Draymond. Draymond is in his contract year. This offseason, they can cut this man. And you over here fooling around.
I think he I don't know if they can cut him, but he can walk away and then go to free agency.
Not cut him, but basically tell him, bro, we're tired of your antics. We're tired of you being the main reason. We're tired of you being so important to us, but you know, basically not treating it with the level of seriousness that it needs to be treated with. And you gonna have to sign somewhere else. Like, all because you are mad about a dude grabbing your ankles, bro? All because some dude said something about him getting paid more than you? So you knock him out? Like, bro, like the antics that Draymond has had in just this year alone, it's alarming, bro. And to be quite frank with you, I would be surprised if any championship level team that, you know, already has that piece would even look Draymond's way. Like, forget about the Lakers. They got they Draymond on that team.
We know where Draymond's trying to go.
Hey, we good.
You gonna hit him
good. We good. We are good. We are good, Draymond. You're safe.
Why would the Lakers need him? Why would the Lakers need him?
Hey. I think he adds different elements to the team, but I don't know if for the price that he expects to
honestly, it depends. It depends on how this postseason goes for the Lakers. Really, it depends on
if they like. Westbrook again, though.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think
I'm talking from the level. I'm talking from the level of impact that he can bring to that team, right? Because it's no shooting. It's no shooting on that team. Or they improve shooting with the trades, but it's not elite shooting that Draymond on the same floor as LeBron and AD would require. Like,
I understand, but
yeah,
um, now it depends because when I talk the one of the main problems with the Lakers having Westbrook is not Westbrook's not only his style of play, because I think there's a certain ways you can work around a player that plays that way. The problem was that Westbrook made like 47 million dollars, so you were limited in cap space to build a more competent roster. If Westbrook was on the Lakers for about 10-15 million, or like or minimum like he is with the Clippers, there's several ways that we could still use him, and we can have the rest of the money to spend on competent players that fit the roster. The problem was that Westbrook made way too much money. Money was tied up into him, AD, and LeBron, and the rest was like vet minimum guys. So that's why we needed more depth to fit in the roster. If we talk about with Draymond, it just depends on the amount that we get him for. The amount he looking for, hell nah. I
this is
wouldn't.
his
I would.
last. This is his last pay. This is his last payday. He's looking
Yeah,
for his
Probably so.
last payday. So
and
so you're looking. So Draymond, I'm what is he making this year? He's making like
I think he
I
making
want to
about.
say he's
I think he
making
making
close
about
to
25
30.
or something like that.
Yeah, he making close. I thought he was like closer to 30.
Maybe so. Maybe
nah,
so. I'm not sure how to.
I have to.
But I
I
know
mean,
I know it was a
yeah, I
$100
can
million
check it when I get to the
contract though.
computer. But
I know it's $100
yeah,
million contract.
it's a hefty price for Draymond, right?
making it's
Considering what
25.
he.
He's making 25. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's going to be looking for what, like 20 million a year for like at least 3 years.
Yeah. He definitely looking for
Because this is his last big contract, and he
Yeah, I
knows
mean,
that. So wherever
if
he goes,
PJ Tucker got 10, PJ Tucker got 10 a year. So I feel like Draymond's probably gonna get 20 from something. He gonna get 20 a year.
but you're not getting 20 from a championship level team. You're just
That's
not.
the thing. I think the Lakers might do that depending on how the season goes for them.
If they do that, they the dumbest dudes I've ever seen.
bruh.
If the Lakers
I
do
think
that,
it's
they're
a
the
lie.
dumbest dudes I've ever seen. You got
I thought
LeBron and
I
AD.
thought it was dumb when they did the Westbrook trade. So
They were
this to
already
me,
They
stupid.
better
Then.
learn.
No, they
this
were
to me,
stupid. They were stupid.
no,
Then they're dumb now.
no,
They
no,
were
no,
stupid.
to me, the Westbrook, to me, this wouldn't be as bad as the Westbrook trade. To be honest,
Now I don't think it would be as bad,
Why?
but
How come? How come?
because
to
I
me,
just think Westbrook was a worse fit than. I think Draymond can still improve their defense. Like they could definitely have a big improvement with Draymond
think
defensively.
about
Their defense, their defense was elite with Westbrook still.
not elite.
Nah,
It was
it wasn't elite.
when they had AD, it was solid.
Yeah, but I mean, that's all that the small sample size of Westbrook, LeBron, and AD on the floor is all we can go off of. And when they were on the floor, they were elite defense. Any
Nah,
defense that is anchored by
I,
AD is going to be just
I,
fine.
I wouldn't say elite, but it was solid. It was fine.
It was above average. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think it
but
was.
when they had but when we got Vanderbilt
If I'm correct, I think it was a top 10 defense for sure.
with AD on the floor, I think it was. But with
AD on the floor.
but with Vanderbilt, we was like number one. Like
So if you have Vanderbilt, and how much is Vanderbilt making?
not that much. And I think they was gonna pick up Vanderbilt's option too.
Absolutely. So if I have Vanderbilt and Vanderbilt takes care of the defensive side, and we already agree that Draymond offensively don't fit with this team, with this Lakers roster, what reason would I have to sign you, dude? Defensively, I'm straight.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't try to sign him. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, he 20
But
20 million.
No, I agree. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
nah,
20 million for a bench player is crazy.
I'm cool. I'm cool on Draymond because there are things that Vanderbilt brings you.
Draymond Green just can't.
I think one of the most important things is youth. And I think Draymond, I think Vanderbilt still has room to grow with his shot, his initiating like the offense. I mean, he crashes. He has so much energy. I mean, Draymond, he's still an excellent defender. And I think he'll be great next to him and AD and LeBron as like a backline defense. It's just scary. But
it could end up that like he ends up not getting that money anywhere, and then he ends up signing with the Lakers for less, like for maybe a
Well,
$10 million deal.
I think one place to look out for they may want him.
Hold on.
Is,
I'm finna hop out for a second, but I'm gonna get back in.
all right,
I got you.
I think
All right.
one team to look out for will be Portland, because I think Dame really wants to play with a guy like Draymond, because I think he feels that Curry benefited playing with Draymond, so he may benefit playing with him too.
I mean, I hear it in theory, but like, if I'm Dame, I really wouldn't want that. Like,
Hey.
like that's all y'all bringing me is Draymond. That's like y'all are not gonna do nothing with that.
Hey, I feel like I think Dame, he's looking for any reason to try to stay in Portland. So if they
like,
bring him
the
Dre,
reason is like it's another star, but I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see that happening.
yeah.
I don't know another star that wants to go to Portland.
Well, Draymond, I don't know if Draymond may want to test the market or anything to see who want to try to get him, because he can still opt in to be on the Warriors again next year. He's not just a free agent.
Right.
He can opt
Forgot
out.
about that.
Yeah, so he can still get his money, but man, Draymond is a character. So yeah, if you haven't heard, Draymond is suspended. He will not play Game 3 versus the Kings, and the Warriors are down 0-2.
And we already know you lose that third game, it's a wrap. It's curtains.
Yeah. No team in NBA history has came back from down 0-3. So
yeah.
What was the other games that was today? I think Boston played
Milwaukee. Atlanta. But yeah, that game was. I watched it for the first half because like Atlanta was making it interesting. They started the game pretty good, but yeah, but no, I had to turn that off because all I cared about was that Knicks and Cavs game really, and and like that, that wasn't really a good game. But I like what the Cavs did as far as they made some adjustments. Like you could see Donovan Mitchell, he was like making it like he was making an effort to try and get the bigs involved. Like Mobley, he had a pretty good game. Like he didn't really have a crazy scoring game, but he got a lot of easy buckets, like cutting to the hoop, using his athleticism, get like running and getting behind Julius Randle.
Yeah,
and they were feeding him for like easy, quick layups, dunks, and he did a better job on the glass, like not getting bullied as much, like he was getting bullied a little bit in that first game.
Yeah,
and also by Donovan Mitchell not like just dominating the ball offensively, he was able, like Darius Garland was able to get going. Also, I liked what they did as far as Karis LeVert.
Yeah,
he got a lot of open looks because of the penetration they were getting. Like they were the Knicks weren't even really. Knicks weren't even looking at him. Like he was getting butt naked, wide open shots. They weren't even trying. Like nobody was within like 20 feet of him on multiple shots, and this man was just getting the easiest wide open three balls.
Yeah.
I don't know if as far as the Knicks are going to, as far as adjustments are, like I know Brunson didn't have a good game. Like he struggled.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna see, but yeah, this is more of like what I expected them to do, in game 1. So we're gonna see what happens in New York, but I'm feeling better.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was just I was kind of tuning in and out of this game. I was at work, but yeah, like you said, Karis LeVert, that's like he's a big X factor because he's a guy with so much talent. But I guess the Knicks they want to see what he was gonna do because he's a very like streaky player. He can be hot one game and win you the game. The next game he can like kind of shoot you out the game. Just depends. Because of Verdon, luckily this game he was on fire, and Darius Garland was he was way more aggressive. He was trying to, I think he tried to dunk on somebody like this game. Like he was getting to the free throw line. The defense was just good as always. But one thing that's point out, I think we should like look forward to the next game. And you probably remember this too. What happened last year with Philly and Toronto at the end of that series, game 6. Doc Rivers had Joel Embiid in the game. They was like blowing him out for whatever reason. He had him in.
Did you see some? Yeah, are you like referencing like what happened late in this game?
I'm about to get to that.
Yeah,
I'm about to get to that. And when I forgot, I think it was Pascal Siakam hit Joel Embiid in the face and freaking broke his face.
Yeah, he
And
threw a Pascal elbowed him in the
and
face.
everybody knew Joel Embiid should not have been in that game. They was blowing him out. The series was over. He just out there for no reason. So you come back to this game, the Knicks, y'all getting whooped. It's okay. Y'all got y'all split. That's what y'all came to Cleveland for. Y'all already stole home court. So now it's like 2 minutes left in the game. They down 20. For whatever reason, Julius Randle is still in the game.
So and this man tried the wildest dunk attempt.
Yeah, and then Jared Allen went to block it, and Julius Randle, he just landed like on his tailbone, on his back or something like that.
Yeah, it was a nasty fall. Like I thought
it was a nasty fall, and I'm like, bro,
like it wasn't as bad as like
he shouldn't have even been in the game, bro. Like, and now you hurt you because he already coming off an ankle injury, so now he's gonna be having to deal with this. I'm not sure when that next game is, but bro, it's and that's just. Let me see. That's right there. Yep.
Randle goes down hard as Allen.
Crazy.
Yep.
I don't think it was a flagrant. He was trying to block the shot.
Yeah, they ended up calling that play a flagrant, but
at least it's 4. Stein throws it to Randle. Randle throws it down. Randle goes down hard.
I don't know what you
as Allen bumped him.
Chance to come it back at that point.
I don't think it was a flagrant.
It's not great. It's not. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I don't know. It's no reason why.
Yeah, and it's even worse because like y'all are losing. Like at least with like the doc thing, like you could make the argument it would be stupid, but like like they were trying to like hold on to the game or something stupid like that. And I think it was more time than 2 minutes left. I think it might have been like 5 minutes, but still, with the Joel Embiid thing. And Joel Embiid, like he kind of it's not like I'm not saying it's his fault, but he was taunting her as well. He kind of like I think Pascal did that because he was taunting. Like the play right before that, he did the little like airplane thing, like he was running down the court and he had his hands out, and then literally right after he did that, he turned around and Pascal's coming at him and throws the elbow right in his face. But yeah, nah, you can't be playing one of your starters down 20 plus points in a game that's pretty much over. Like it don't even make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's Tib. Tib just love playing his guys.
Yeah, especially somebody like Randle, who looks like he's not going like he likes to go like hard and play physical, and so yeah. And he actually had a pretty good game this game too. So it's like, I mean, well, compared to like last game, he was much better.
Yeah,
than he was
I was gonna say that compared to last game, but it was all right. But yeah, this.
Yeah, but the biggest adjustment to me was Donovan Mitchell's playmaking. Like he wasn't just he kind of had to be in game one a little bit. Like he had to go look for his own shot because of how they were defending Garland. They were trapping Garland a lot. And but I think he kind of like overdid it, and he was just like focused on getting his buckets, and he kind of like was missing guys and that he could have hit in game one.
Yeah,
and I feel like he.
I think that was a part of the Knicks game plan because they would. Anytime Darius Garland had the ball, because Darius Garland, he's like a playmaker first. He's like a pass first guard, and he's gonna look to set guys up. Anytime they trapped him, they got the ball out of his hands, and he had no rhythm. He wasn't really aggressive in the fourth quarter. And Donovan Mitchell, when he gets the ball, especially when they down, he's looking
to get buckets.
Yeah,
and so
you can see it. And I think it kind of played into
their hands.
Yeah. In this game, that's the adjustments were made.
Yeah. You could see it like to this time when he had the ball, like he wasn't just trying to get his own offense, and it helped because if they're trapping Garland, and then the one thing that's going to be harder for them to do is when you have the ball, they're not going to be able to trap him like that, especially if you're looking to actually get other guys involved. And so that helped like get opportunities where he can just catch the ball and then go into his step back or go into his pull up with the defense kind of on their heels. And that's what Garland was able to do. Like he was able to get quick offense when he would just catch off the catch. without having to ISO on somebody or something like that, and then get trapped and have to get the ball up. And so I don't know what the I'd have to go check, but I feel like they also did a good job of getting second chance points on them in that game as well. I didn't see what
I know that had to be a point of emphasis because in that first game they were getting tossed around, especially Evan Mobley. I don't know if you've seen the video that I sent you, but he just got Julius Randle was just tossing him around like a baby. Game 1.
No, it was almost even on the rebounds. Well, no, okay, total rebounds. Not the Cavs have more, but offensive rebounds was 13-11. So Knicks actually still had a couple more offensive rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
I'm sure it's not as bad as the first game was.
Yeah,
the Knicks was owning them on the glass.
So yeah, I'm curious to see what the adjustments going to be for the Knicks in this third game, going back to New York.
What you think about that? What you think about this Clippers Suns game? Because not gonna lie, it was looking kind of sketchy for the Suns, and especially
the first half. I was like, when Kawhi was cooking in that second quarter.
Yeah.
For a second, especially early in that second quarter, I was like, man, KD's looking a little bit funny right now. He getting his poke check. He taking the ball from him. You saw that play when he was taking from him.
He was taking the ball out of his hand.
And just
Westbrook was blocking his shot. And
Westbrook had a really good game tonight. He was aggressive downhill, was just getting to the hoop, finishing.
And he was efficient. He hit 2 threes.
Yeah, he was actually under control, for the most part. No, he had a good game, and it's crazy that they kind of just it kind of wasted a good Westbrook game right there. But that was because
you win the 3 for 19 game. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that was because honestly, to me, the biggest. I mean, obviously, Devin Booker had a great game, especially in bringing them back.
Yeah,
he starts to get hot
for sure.
I
thought at the end of the second quarter, and then the third quarter and fourth. He was just cooking. He was getting to his spot. Mid-range threes was falling for him.
Yeah, and KD had he had a good game, very similar to. It was very similar to me to game 1, honestly. But I feel like Chris Paul, the stats don't say how good of a game he had. Mm-hmm. To me, he had a really good game tonight. Even though I think he only had probably 15, 16 points. I gotta go check. But but it felt like he had more just because of the timing in which he scored those points. If you look right when the fourth quarter started, he won a little mini run.
He did
to help keep them in front and build on that lead. And then right later in the game, as the Clippers are trying to come back and make a last second run at it, he hit a few more pull up mid ranges and was hitting some at the end of the clock. He kind of just daggered the game, but I think that he really sealed that game in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, but shout out to Chris Paul because he finally won.
Yeah, he was looking really old in that first half to me. He was just getting especially on defense, and then at least he brought it. He brought on the other side.
He was kind of getting clamped up a little too. It was like KD was getting clamped up. He was getting clamped up, but I think it was huge that they won the Scott Foster game. Because when I saw that Scott Foster was the ref, I was like, uh-oh. let's bring my guy back up here, man. Man, back home.
Good to be back. Man, I'm telling you, working in the hospital, man, that shit get hectic, man. They get tired of fucking smelling all types of shit. We're not gonna put these patients' business out there, but you know what I be smelling, man. You know. Shoot. Look, that's why I keep a Bath and Body Works. There's no go to Pearland Town Center, get you all of these, man. Get you all of these. For the price of $5.99, I tell you. Strong than a mother too.
Hey man, what you think about the Clippers game?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Westbrook needs more credit for how much effort he's putting defensively for the Clippers. I've never seen him put this much effort in his entire career. And I followed him from his rookie year all the way up to now. OKC, he had lapses. For the Rockets, he had lapses. Washington Wizards, the older Westbrook definitely had lapses. Lakers,
definitely he just looked uninterested at times. I'm looking at the Clippers from start to finish. He's giving it his all for
especially game one.
Especially game one. But even this game against there was times where he was literally chasing KD, and that wasn't even his assignment.
Yeah,
that wasn't even his assignment.
Do you think a part of that? You think a part of him being so good defensively in these first two games is that he has a little bit of extra motivation because it's KD on the other side? I think that's
I'm one of those people that feel like that hatred ain't never gonna die. The way the fan base of OKC felt and the way that Westbrook felt, like you could see it in his energy. The way he felt from the way KD decided to leave to go to Golden State of all teams. That don't go away. It may die down. You may not have as much, I won't say hatred, but you may not be as volatile towards him. But you definitely feeling some type of energy towards him when you see him. It ain't no dapping up, what's good, bro, type shit.
Yeah, I don't think it disappeared at all. I just think I think this probably would mean more to him than any first round series win.
100%. This is probably his most important.
Yeah, he's not gonna forget
this. For a few reasons outside of the whole KD situation, we haven't really got to see KD. We haven't got to see Westbrook with a competent team around him, for him to be able to actually showcase himself. Even in OKC days, it was ran around him, but he didn't have the requisite shooters. In Houston, he had the shooters, but he didn't have the defense. In Washington, we all know how incompetent that franchise is, and then we all know how the Lakers stint went. So this is the first time we're seeing Westbrook with players that can play defense, that can shoot, with a competent coach that's not going to say yes to everything Westbrook is, demanding to do, and more importantly, is allowing him still to be himself, all with that. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this is the best version of Westbrook that I've seen. Even with even with the triple, even with the averaging 30, even with the averaging 27, best field goal percentage 54. The reason why I say this is the best Westbrook is because he's actually smart down the stretch. These last two games,
calm down. Come on,
what dumb decisions has he? Hold on. What dumb decisions has he made in the last two games where you're just like, okay, that's Westbrook.
Okay. Whoa! You tripping?
Even if you can watch the end of this game, like he kind of ruined their chances for a comeback.
I'm not gonna.
I didn't say he didn't have a good game, because he did, but
no. We're strictly talking down the stretch. What play did he have?
He had like 3 turnovers in a row, like in the game, before Chris Paul hit some shots to ice the game, pretty much.
But I'm saying, were those Westbrook turnovers where it's like, why did you do that, or was it like, oh, I see what you're trying to do, it just didn't pan out?
I'm not gonna. Yeah, he had the terms. I'm not gonna kill him for it.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's turnovers where it's like James Harden with the 76ers against the Brooklyn Nets yesterday, where like he was making some turn. He had like 5 turnovers. I think it was 3 turnovers in the third quarter.
I'm not even going.
Yeah, but you. I was looking at Harden's passes, and I'm like, I see what you was trying to do. I wouldn't have made that decision. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, yeah, I'm not mad at you for trying to.
I feel you.
No, with the Harden thing, that was like 3 of those turnovers were like him foul baiting and him.
Yeah, I'm not. So it's like, I see what you were trying to do. I wouldn't do it, but
But the Russ thing, like, I agree for the most part in this game. But game one, I feel like it was like the good and the bad Russ, but it was a lot of bad. And it wasn't just like it was what we've been worried about with Russ for years now, is him
from what standpoint though?
So like it's not that he was like he shot 3 for 19, whatever. It's not just that he shot 3 for 19. It's some of the shots that he was taking. He was taking,
by the way,
shots.
That was like one of the best 3 for 19 games I've ever seen in my life.
Now defensively, he redeemed himself in that game, because late in that game, he had huge stops. He had some key blocks, he had some really big plays to save that game. But the reason why that game was so close to begin with was because of how bad he was playing offensively. Like he had a couple shots at the rim when he was driving where he barely even hit him. I think he airballed a couple of them too. Like he just and it was like He was out of
I
control.
was
He
like, bro,
drove in the paint.
what is this dude doing?
He drove in the paint, threw around. Like, did you see you saw the one that he threw up and Miles Plumlee caught it or whatever, and they were like, oh, that was a pass.
That's the one I was going to. But even with that one,
that wasn't no pass. That definitely
even with,
Bro, I was texting.
like, it's like that dude they'd be like, good pass, self. And you be like, bro, you ain't trying to pass that.
Bro, I was texting Andrew during the game. I said, bro, it seemed like this dude is taking every shot every time he get the ball. Like what is up with this dude? Andrew said, Andrew told me, I don't know if it's not a direct quote. He said he's not selling the game, he's selling his soul. I was like,
but I mean, these are the things that the Clippers specifically signed on with when they picked up Westbrook, right? So what I'm saying is throughout the game, you're getting Westbrook. That's the bad shots, the tough shots, the shots that'll go in. Like this game, he posted up D-Book. That had nothing to do with the offense because you saw everybody running around. They were actually trying to go in the offense, and then at some point they stopped because they were like, "Oh, Westbrook's not passing it." And then Westbrook posted up D-Book and he shot it, but it went in, right? Yeah. So it's like in those situations, it's like okay, like it works out being Russ, but you take the good with the bad. But in the crunch time specifically, more times than not, definitely more times. Westbrook is trying to make the best play possible in his position, and either it works out or it doesn't. But in these last two games, for the most part, on his side, it's been working out. And that's all you can ask for, especially having Westbrook on your team. Because Des, remember, on Open Gym, I was the main one saying this was a terrible decision on the Clippers' part. They definitely could have got they could have got some other playmaking point guard that could be able to assist them because that's the only thing that they lacked. They only lacked playmaking. They had enough shot creators. They had enough defenders. They just needed somebody to be able to get them into their sets. They got Westbrook because they wanted a person that could do it all. Paul George co-signed it, and now they have him. So now that you're in this position, this is the best situation. This is the best outcome that you could actually see having Westbrook on your team if you think about it.
I mean, the way things worked out, I think it ended up becoming a better signing or pickup because of the Paul George injury.
Because of the Paul George injury, yeah.
Yeah, because now they'd be in a really bad situation as far as playmaking goes. Because Paul George can give you some playmaking. And
Paul George turned into a great playmaker this year.
Yeah.
Last year specifically, but definitely this year.
I thought a couple years ago when he was when Kawhi was hurt and they had went to the conference finals.
You talking about that entire year? You talking about that postseason? That postseason.
That's when I really start to notice it. His all around game.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Against the Jazz and definitely against the Clippers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely against the Suns. I mean, but yeah.
So I'm sorry. I got off track. I got off track with it, but
no, you good. I think I have seen some growth in Westbrook. Well, I would say growth, but I've seen better than what I've seen in the past. Because even earlier this season, and it pissed me off so much, bro. When I'll never forget, it was the game against the Portland Trailblazers. Mm-hmm. We were up. And this dude went for a 2-for-1.
Oh, yes.
When we were winning the game. And, bro.
It was the fourth quarter. All you had to do was hold on to the ball. No, scratch that. All you had to do was give Paul George the damn ball because Paul George was hot. And you talking about in the playoffs, right?
No. He's talking about earlier this season.
I'm talking about
when Russ was on the Lakers.
Yeah, when he was on the Lakers.
Yeah, because I was going back to OKC days, man. You gave me flashbacks when you said Trailblazers.
Look,
he's talking about his frustrations with Russ as a Lakers.
It was okay. So you got PTSD of Westbrook too, huh?
Yeah, it was 30 seconds on the clock, but we had a full shot clock.
We all do
the game. We were winning the game, and this dude went 2-for-1, and I'm like, bro, what the like? If you saw LeBron and AD, they threw their hands up like what is up with this dude? Some of his decision making in the games is just.
Well, I'd argue this year specifically. This is just my theory. I have no proof behind it or nothing. I think Westbrook was doing shit out of spite. for them.
So,
Because I like on the basketball court, when you beefing with a team, when you beefing with a teammate calling you sorry or something like that, and y'all not getting along, and you get the ball because they not feeding you the ball like that, what you finna do?
I feel you.
I'm finna shoot that bitch.
I think some of that could have been from the maybe animosity towards the fan base or whatever, because it's like he felt pressured from. I know Lakers fans, they relentless. So it's times he'd go out there and he wouldn't like really be himself. Yeah. And I think other times he'd be like, man, to hell with this. I'm gonna go out there and be myself. And if I get 10 turnovers, so be it. Other times you see him not be aggressive, but that's the Russ you really don't want. Because if he's not being aggressive, it's like it's no point in him really being out there. Because he gonna make a good thing.
Which is the good thing about what Tyler's doing. He's kind of just letting Russ be Russ. Yeah, you're gonna get the good, you're gonna get the bad, but he really got to do it because they don't have Paul George. Yeah. They need to get that production, and they kind of just got to take it as it is right now.
Because it's been times when they had Paul George, even when they didn't. I remember specifically when they played against us a couple weeks ago, but Tyloo he's benched Russ. Like he's not afraid to bench him. But in this case, in this playoff series, you kind of need him to go all out, especially without Paul George. Like it's like who you gonna put in that actually gonna continue to play make for you? Who's
definitely not Bones Island.
Yeah,
who's
gonna continue to play hard? Who's gonna continue to get rebounds, play defense, put pressure on the rim? Yeah, Russ, he gonna shoot some dumb shots sometimes. He gonna turn the ball over, but you need any type of star power that's left in Russ, any type of talent, because he's probably the second most talented player on the team, probably behind Kawhi right now. So you need every ounce of him that you can get.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. As of right now, Westbrook's the second best player on the team.
Yeah, he is, and it got you a game. So
I'm gonna take it night to night on that one.
Yeah. No, I ain't talent wise, but best, that just depends. But talent wise, I say yes. Talent wise,
who's beating them out as the second best?
I mean, depending on the night, it could be Eric Gordon, it could be Norm Powell. Just depending on the night.
Yeah, Powell. I think Zubac can.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can ride with you with Zubac, but Eric Gordon is nasty. Eric Gordon's nasty. There's no universe. There's no universe. He can't hoop. He be hooping, but you can't tell me that his impact, him leaving his imprint on the game, is anything close to what Westbrook. Westbrook leaves his imprint on the game.
Like Drew said, easily see there being a game in this series before the series is over with.
You can easily see what?
Oh no, I can easily see a game in this series before it's over with, where Eric Gordon is, he drops 30 or something like that. And he has
whenever that happens, I will be here to apologize. The same way you guys apologize.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen.
My Sacramento pick.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I can see that happening from Gordon or
no. You said you can easily see that. You can easily see that.
Okay, yeah, from Gordon or Norm Powell, from one of those two.
Oh, now you threw in another person? That's crazy.
Hey, hold up. I said Norm Powell to begin with. I
was on the Eric Gordon joint. What are we talking about there?
Yeah, what's that?
You over here drinking water, Desto. Where your water at, bro?
I just finished my water, bro. Come on, man.
That small ass bottle of water. You see the bottle of water in that?
Hey, man, look, I got home from work. I hopped that on live. But hey, I just got a notification. It said Chris Paul had an X-ray on his hand after the game, but it came.
Yeah, I saw. I'm like, at the end of the game, I saw him squeeze his hand. I'm like, really? Already?
Chris Paul be getting hurt every single postseason. They be having
always something, man.
Yes,
man. Now when AD got hurt, bro, almost, man.
That was the weirdest thing too, because this man was like, I can't move my arm, and then he was back out there in the second half, just like
acting like it was nothing.
It turns out it just went numb, and like what happened was, I think when he was getting a rebound, his head was like this, and then Reeves bumped him, so it kind of like he turned his neck a little too hard, and then it I don't know, it messed with some nerve in his arm or something like that. So it kind of just his shit went numb for a second.
I'm not gonna lie to you,
but it didn't hurt. If it hurt, then that's different. But it didn't hurt. He just couldn't feel it.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all, and it's gonna sound like I'm making a joke, but I'm dead ass serious. They really need to do some type of scientific study on Anthony Davis' body. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm being dead ass serious, because similar to, like, you remember back in the day when if you got an ACL tear outside of Dominique Wilkins, it was unheard of for you to tear your ACL.
Your Achilles.
Yeah,
Achilles.
well, your Achilles, and
Achilles.
well, you know, after you tear your Achilles, the next thing that comes after that is your ACL.
It just depends.
You ever know about that? Like Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose had tore his Achilles first.
I thought it was an ACL. No,
he tore his Achilles first in 2012. 2013, he came back and it was his ACL against. I think it was a game against.
No way. How you? What?
Because you overexert. You overexert. On
John
one
Wall
side.
did the same thing. It was the opposite though. John Wall tore his ACL, then his Achilles. Yeah. Remember, he tore his ACL and then he tore his Achilles at home when he fell down while he was rehab.
So it's like it's one, and then KD is the same. What was it, KD? Yes, KD was the same way. Klay Thompson was the same way. But as you saw, like over the time from like way back when if that happened, like you basically just book it like that's the end of your NBA career. To now, like give it about a year or two, you back. And you know, more or less, like you still have a semblance of your career left, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is going through injuries like that, like continuously. Like it's like you know, it just happens too much. So like they need to do some type of studies, because I have a feeling like this ain't the last time we're gonna see some type of, because it's happening all over the league. It's AD doing it. AD's dealing with injuries. Ben Simmons dealing with injuries. Zion dealing with injuries. Fuck it. Who else? What other young players dealing with injuries in the league? Like, how many can we name off?
Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball. And these aren't injuries where it's like you can see them and like pinpoint, oh yeah, I see what that look like. That doesn't look good. No, these are injuries where it's like they just jump. Nobody touched them, and they just be like, oh. So either they faking or this is a serious ass thing. And if this is a serious ass thing and y'all done been through like 3-4 injuries within the span of like 2 years, they need to do some studies on this shit so that we can figure out what is like triggering this shit.
I think talking about Ben Simmons, yeah.
Ben Simmons probably is scared. No, Ben Simmons probably scared. And Zion probably scared too. His mind is
I'm dead. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. With AD, man, I don't know. Sometimes it pissed me off because I was like, bro, what's next? Like, but it's like some of it is, a lot of it is contact injuries. So I don't think it's just like weak areas in his body. You know, like his knee just gave out or something like that. You know, it's like somebody like got pushed into his knee, or you know, like he landed on somebody and his ankle turned, you know, things like that. But it's like, bro, it's like it's just so unlucky with him. And I'm glad to see him like relatively healthy now. You know, he's still on the injury report for that foot injury, but they say he's pain free. He may still require surgery to repair something in it in the offseason, but you know, I don't know. Maybe they do need to conduct that study, because it just seems like it's like small things with him. But because
it's one thing to say like he's just unlucky. Yeah, if I all right. For instance, I think it was Derrick Rose. The trail of injuries he dealt with from like 2012 to like 2017 is unlucky, right? Like I tore my Achilles or my ACL. In 2012, that's just unlucky. Nobody touched him or anything like that. He was jumping. I think he was jumping to like pass the ball. You could just blame it on fatigue. Tom Thibodeau had him out on the floor too long or something like that. But it was just unlucky. 2013, he tore the other end. I think it was his ACL or Achilles. Whichever one he tore on 2012, 2013 when he came back, he tore the next one. 2014, he comes back and it's the other leg.
He's been having
2015.
It was wraps part.
Ankle injuries, knee injuries.
Yeah, and then 2015 on, it was just injury after injury after injury that just held him back, and he was not able to come back until by the time he came back, he was a complete shell of himself. This was not Derrick Rose of 2011. This wasn't even Derrick Rose of 2015 when he hit the game winner in the playoff game. This was Derrick Rose, the bench role player. And so
I have like a theory on these.
That's unlucky. But when you look at Anthony Davis, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, I was gonna say I have a theory on like some of these guys that have like injury problems, and to me, there's not necessarily a scientific study on it, although there's been kind of like correlation or something when it comes to certain guys, like big guys that are frail, that have like a slender frame.
Yeah,
they get like if you go look over the years, a lot of those dudes suffer with injuries. Like they have every single year they miss like 15, 20 games on average. And or they'll go out and they'll break their foot, tear up their knee, and miss a whole season. That's something that's been common for like decades now.
I'm with you.
And so if you go now, I think that can also apply to like some of these small guards as well. Some of these like smaller guards that have a small frame, frail build, and that are very athletic, especially the guys like D Rose, and now we're seeing possibly even Ja. Hopefully not the case, but they rely on their athleticism. They go for a lot of the highlight plays, a lot of the above the rim play for a guy that's like, relatively small compared to the rest of the league, and just constantly taking contact, constantly going above the rim, putting so much pressure on their knees, so much pressure on their feet. I feel like those guys aren't built to last, aren't built to hold up when they play that way. I also think that when in the case of somebody like Zion, I think he's too big for his frame. And
you think it's a middle ground? You think it's a middle ground?
Yeah, I think there's a middle ground, and we've seen it. Like there's like it's like I feel like there's a lot of guys like that we don't really see get injured that frequently, and it's guys that are like, relatively like stocky, or like or well like solidly built, right? Like if you look at look at all the bigs that have gotten hurt over the years. Like they usually are pretty frail guys or over 7 foot, right?
No, not really though. Because Giannis has been dealing with injuries over the last, like quiet as kept. Giannis has been dealing with injuries.
But he's been pretty durable for the most part.
The last 2 years he hasn't. He's been dealing with some injuries. Now you can put it from, I wouldn't say so. because he was dealing with he was dealing with
a few of them, but he's been relatively healthy. Yeah, he has been like on the level like
no, he's nowhere near the level of AD, but he's been dealing with some minor injuries like Nick.
But he's nowhere. I mean, guys that are like injury prone. I'm talking about guys.
Anthony Davis is not frail. Anthony Davis isn't. He has a solid build. He ain't weak.
So here's the thing with AD. AD, he was frail, right? Mm-hmm. He was frail for many years, and he would always miss like 15 games a year. Right? Yeah, he would get injured, but it wasn't anything ever like really serious, right? Yeah. It'd be like, like he had a freak injury here, there, Knicks, whatever. But he's out. He's out 10 games now. He's out 5 games here. He's out. It would be like over the course of the year, he'd always end up missing like between 15 and 20 games. You can go check.
Yeah,
and that was when he was frail. But then he put on a lot of weight. Pretty quickly, like he bulked up, right? Bulked up, and then those injuries started becoming worse. They started becoming injuries that I almost feel like he put on the weight too quickly, and like he bulked up, and it actually kind of made things worse.
Wait, AD didn't bulk up. AD didn't bulk up. AD didn't bulk up quickly.
Look at his upper body.
No, well, if
from his upper body. If you look at him from 2012, 2013, 14. 15 is when you started to notice the difference. 16 is when he started to like truly get bolder in the top.
To me, the year that what year was it that he was with
Cousins?
Boogie.
Boogie, that was 18.
I'm gonna say 16, 17. That's the trade happened mid-season. That's the season that I noticed AD put on a lot of muscle, and he played a lot of games that season. I want to say he played around like 70-something games that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next season, that's when they made the playoffs. That's when they swept Portland. He played like 70-some games that year. He had he had put on. That's when he's
17, 18 season. Yeah,
he put on a lot of muscle. The year after that, he was ready. He was healthy that season. The only reason he didn't play a lot of games because the Pelicans was keeping him out of games because of because of the trade. So they was resting him every other game or something like that. He wasn't really playing fourth quarters, things like that. But he was healthy that season. He may have missed a couple games due to like minor injuries, but he was healthy that season. The year after that was the year Lakers won the title. He was healthy that season. The only reason he didn't play a lot of games because the season was cut short. So he had a stretch. Like 4-year stretch.
That was his healthiest stretch, right there.
Yeah, he had a 4-year stretch
like
of being really healthy. He played the full playoffs in 2020. I mean,
it was really like a 2-year stretch. I want to say, right?
No.
He kind of sat out a lot. He sat out a lot that year. They were trying to trade him.
Yeah, but he was healthy
then,
though. He was healthy.
Yeah, I mean, but he was
healthy for the most part for his standards.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he didn't play games because he wasn't healthy. He just didn't play because they was protecting their trade asset. So he was healthy. The injuries, for me, like the major injuries when he started to miss like a whole lot of games, didn't start until right after the bubble. And I think what triggered that was the fact that he had the shortest offseason in NBA history. And when you kind of come back too fast, you come right into game action, no training camp, no chance to kind of go through your normal offseason routine. That's when you saw most players get hurt. Because you look at that 2021 season, he got hurt. Harden had the hamstring injury.
Everybody got hurt that year. I feel like that season really changed. Like many dudes, and I think it was because of they shortened it was condensed the schedule, so there were so many people playing so many games in the first man time.
And the Lakers got the worst part of it because they're arguably their best player coming off the shortest offseason in history. He had and that was his first like non-contact injury. I was saying he had that Achilles injury versus Denver, and then in the playoffs he had that hamstring injury versus the Suns, which kind of cost us the series. So that's when he started to miss a lot of games. And then the next season after that, he had an injury when I think Vanderbilt or McDaniels, one of them, fell into his knee. He missed a lot of games. And then last season as well, he went for a rebound. He came down on Gobert. His ankle freaking hit the ground. So he missed a lot of games like that.
Bro.
So it's like, the injuries didn't really start like as far as him missing like so many games until right after the bubble. But other than that,
because of the big turnover, like the rollover into the new season was like
but I don't want to say that it was the weight or the muscle that caused him to
No, but that's that's the reason.
Yeah, if you look at it, and that was the reason for a lot of soft.
Think about it. All of the teams that was in the conference finals for their respective conference.
Yeah,
Miami, Boston, Lakers, Denver. Every one of the major stars all got hurt.
All was hurt, and
Miami was dealing with injuries.
Yeah.
The Lakers was dealing with injuries. Remember, LeBron rolled his ankle. It was a freak accident, but he rolled his ankle. You could argue that was fatigue.
That's a championship. I never forget that Solomon Hill. Fell into LeBron ankle.
Denver, Jamal Murray. I think he tore his Achilles.
ACL.
ACL. It was his ACL.
Jaylen Brown.
And then Jaylen Brown got hurt.
Jaylen Brown was hurt.
So yeah, I mean, no other team dealt with a serious injury like after that season.
Yeah, and even if you look at it, it's other teams too. James Harden. That was the first season in
James Harden got hurt.
James Harden got hurt. James Harden
was his whole career got altered because he got injured, that hamstring injury, and he decided to play on it.
But that didn't come from the bubble rollover. That came because James Harden got fat intentionally, then lost weight, then wanted to carry a team with KD and Kyrie that was off the bench, and he but he pulled his hamstring.
But it was both. The bubble rollover.
I think it was a part of it.
because he was playing a condensed schedule. While he was also fat, he was also playing a condensed schedule with so many games in a short span of time, and he was carrying the load because Katie was out, Kyrie was out. So you playing a lot of games, short span of time, and you carrying the load when two guys are out, and then you tear your hamstring and you play on it. You play on it for 3 games in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and we've not seen that injury.
Yeah,
his finishing at the rim, how he drives.
Yeah,
he's had moments, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same as he used to be.
Isn't as consistent. His ability to get to the line isn't the same. Because I don't even think Harden didn't shoot a free throw.
Yeah, now I'm gonna be honest. I think he's been getting hold a little bit. Like as far as the calls, like he has been foul baiting, but like it was actually he actually got fouled. Like game 2, like he didn't shoot free throws in game 1 or game 2. Game 1, I think he maybe got fouled once, and he mostly was shooting threes. But game 2, he got fouled at least like 3 drives. They didn't call it, but like him having 0 free throws.
Is it not bothering y'all like how the referees are forcing this to be about them? Like they're refusing for the game to be decided by the players.
Well, in which game are you talking about?
I'm talking about this entire playoff so far for the last 3 days. I've been seeing like a couple questionable calls per game. In like tight, it's like tight moments. Like it hasn't been in like tight game, like tight deciding games outside of the Sacramento versus Warriors game. But I don't think that was really. I don't think that was more. I think that was more so of like, like like when the coaches come over to the referees and they're like complaining enough, complain enough, and eventually the referees are gonna start to give you those little bullshit calls. Yeah, I think that's what that was. But outside of that, like for the last 3 days, I've just been seeing a whole lot of like referee. That's the reason they were protecting. Oh wow.
You talking about AD?
Yeah,
he's talking about that's
I'm gonna be honest. I think that's why because
I mean he could get hurt, but I'm just saying. He had a stretch when he wasn't hurt. Now he could have gotten hurt. I'm not gonna sit here and deny because we all know who AD is. But now back to your point, I feel like the refs have been letting them play a lot. I think it's been certain games where you'll be like, okay, you can't call that, but like I've been seeing like a lot of physicality. I saw it in, like you said, in the Kings Warriors series. They've been very physical with Steph. They've been letting a lot of things go, and that's playoff basketball. Even in the Philly and Brooklyn series, because Embiid, Harden, they as great as they are, they like to foul bait you and they want to get to the line. And Embiid, he hasn't been successful in doing that at all this series, but he has been rebounding the hell out of the ball yesterday.
I like what they did, like as far as their adjustments in the as far as the Nets did, like they stuck with the game plan as far as like trapping double teaming Embiid early and often as frequently as possible. But I like that they didn't have Claxton be the primary defender as much. They had Claxton more of the help defender in the second game, and they had Royce O'Neal guarding Embiid the primary defender, and sometimes it was Dorian Finney-Smith. And to me, that was a way better strategy because when they had Claxton as the primary defender last game and the first game, he wasn't able to recover and they having Royce O'Neal and those other dudes as a help defender. It's not as impactful. So now he can play roamer.
I see that similar to that game earlier this year when Philly played Denver and they had PJ Tucker on Jokic and they had Embiid as the rim protector. That's a bit similar.
Embiid was guarding Aaron Gordon. He was able to just basically just hang around the paint and split the difference between the corner, and he was able to cut off those lob passes that Jokic likes to throw to Aaron Gordon. And honestly, PJ Tucker was clamping up Jokic in that game. Straight up, he was locking him. Yeah,
he was. It's just and then back to the Philly and Brooklyn. I just think they just don't have enough offense and Embiid.
I think they were doing just fine though.
I mean, I know, but it's just they're gonna out talent you. Like even with doubling Embiid, getting the ball in Embiid's hands, and you force some turnovers. Not gonna lie, he was turning the ball over, but I mean, they got Tyrese Maxey, and Tyrese Maxey was
he went
Tyrese Maxey started to get hot, but they just stopped doubling. They stopped doubling Joel Embiid, and that's when the game really got away from him. Because even with Tyrese Maxey going crazy, Tyrese Maxey ran off like, I want to say it was like he had a 3, then he got a layup, and then he hit another 3.
They were disrespecting Maxey for most of that game.
They were
just leaving him butt naked. Like they were like, I understand, but like they were acting like he can't shoot or anything.
They were prioritizing. They should have been prioritizing on top of trapping Joel Embiid. They should have been prioritizing Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris. And truth be told, not saying that it would have been the right move. Not saying it wouldn't. Not saying it wouldn't be. They should have been disrespect. If they're gonna disrespect anybody, disrespect the dude that's missing right now in Harden. Like Harden. At that point, like, and
they weren't.
Half,
that's the funny thing. They were still giving a lot of attention to Harden, and they were leaving Max.
Completely and it's
open. Like there was nobody like close on a lot of those shots.
So, and my question to y'all is, what made Jock Vaughn come to the decision to say, all right, we're just gonna stop doubling Joel Embiid in the fourth quarter? We're just gonna stop doubling Joel Embiid. We're just gonna go back to doing the regular defense and allowing them to rain threes upon us, like they did in game 1. Because that's what I saw. I saw from the first to the third quarter, they were trapping the hell out of Joel Embiid, making life hard for him and forcing the others to have to decide. Now, Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris were doing very well, but James Harden, because they were putting Mikal Bridges on him after the 23-13 performance he did, that he was struggling very hard. But then they just forgot about everybody else, and they just let them just rain like from everywhere. Like Tobias Harris was hitting threes, he was hitting mid ranges, he was getting to the rim. He was able to post up in the same spot that Joel Embiid posts up at with no attention whatsoever. He was able to get single coverage. Like they just completely just like went away from the original plan that had them leading in the first half. They were winning.
Yeah, they were up, I think 5 at the half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a part of it was because Maxey started to get cooking and the game was close, and he probably thought that they could, because they were starting to get like a lot of good looks. They just weren't hitting them. They were getting a lot of wide open threes. Like Royce O'Neal had some wide open shots. I think Finney Smith did as well. They weren't catching them. The only dude that was really hitting was Cam Johnson, who has been hitting like the whole series so far.
Cam Johnson had like 20. Cam Johnson had 24 in the first at the end of the first half. Second half, they just stopped. They just stopped.
He had a nasty. We all saw that dunk. He had a nasty dunk on Embiid. Yeah,
that was nuts.
Which is, What's funny is like that was the same thing.
Nasty. It was almost nastier than that dunk Harrison Barnes had on Clay.
Nah, I don't think that one wasn't a poster. Clay was kind of coming from behind.
Oh, come on, bro. He was riding on his hip and he dunked on him. Come on, be for real.
But Clay was kind of coming from behind. Embiid, that's a 7-footer, and you punched it in his face.
That was his former teammate. That meant something.
You talking about HB?
Yeah, Harrison Barnes. Yeah, Harrison Barnes dunked on Clay. Man, that meant something, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he.
Yeah, this ain't 2016 no more.
He don't got no love for them. Draymond specifically, because rumor has it Draymond was the one that ran him out to try to get KD, and he don't fuck with Draymond because of that.
Yeah, I think he wasn't invited to one of their weddings.
Yeah, I don't think Draymond couldn't go to Harrison Barnes' wedding or something like that. He didn't invite him to the wedding. Just petty NBA players, man.
Petty Pendergrass. That's all.
That was the same thing that happened in game 1 too, though. Mikal Bridges, like he went off in the first half of game 1. And then in game 2, I think he had like 23 and a half in game 1. Then he had 7 points in the second half. But mostly because they were just trapping him. After halftime, they started double teaming him like crazy. And that's probably an area in Mikal's game that he has to improve on as a playmaker. Yeah. Like he takes a while to make decisions. Like when he gets trapped, you can kind of see him like he doesn't really know what he wants to do with the ball. And so that's what he needs to improve on that. But they didn't really even honestly trap Cam Johnson in the second half. I just feel like the Nets didn't really go to him as much. Yeah. But they didn't really make any defensive adjustments on him.
Which is to be expected. I mean, this isn't this isn't the challenge for the
of course.
76ers. This isn't a challenge for the 76ers.
Yeah.
So, like, anything we learn from here, really, to be honest with you, the only thing that we should learn from here is if this ends up going 6 games, that we got something to be concerned about for the following round. That's the only thing, because we all know that the Celtics is finna run the Hawks out.
Yeah,
Probably.
And then probably is crazy.
I mean, they're gonna win the series.
They're winning in game 4. It's in 4.
Yeah, I think it still can go 5 potentially. I feel like
wow, they got a game.
I still got it.
Yeah. I think that Atlanta can get one of those games back home. I mean, that game would probably be game 3.
It has to be game 3 because if they go down 3-0.
Yeah, because I feel like even with Atlanta, like they still have the ability to get high. I think they have one of the highest 3-point percentages in the league this season from a team. So I feel like they're gonna have one of them games at home. You know, role players they play better, they shoot better at home. DeJounte Murray, he's been the main one cooking for them this series, but you know nobody else really came along. Trae Young, he started to come alive a little bit in the second half, but yeah, I feel like they'll get a game at home, but I don't see that series going anywhere past 5.
Yeah,
I thought Sadiq Bey would have a better impact than he has so far.
I mean,
he's a big guy. He's a big forward. Like I thought he would be able to handle the physicality.
Yeah, I like Bay, but yeah, I don't know. Like Atlanta, they're a weird team. They so mid, like
the definition of mid. Definition.
Because if you look at it, like their first 10 games, they was 5-5. Their first 20 games, they was 10-10. Their first 40 games, they was 20-20. So it's like, bro, they can't even like find no real consistency. So I don't know. I don't even see how they can really challenge Boston.
So once they get knocked out, what do you think the next? And I'm pretty sure y'all probably gonna do an off-season episode, like playing stuff. But just a sneak peek, what do you guys think is probably the best move for the Atlanta Hawks after this? I feel like you got to get off of Trae Young. You got to decide between Trae Young and DeJounte, and I'm going with DeJounte because he played defense.
Damn.
Because he played defense.
Damn, it's like that.
Oh, for sure. Trae Young is not. I don't care how talented you are. If you're a headache and you're not impacting on wins as much as your mouth is running in the front office, I don't need you here. DeJounte Murray is not causing no headaches.
I guess I can see what they can get for Trae Young. Like if they can actually get another star back, then I might do it, depending on who that is. Or if they can get like a lot of picks, possibly. I would be open to trading Trae Young, honestly. In my opinion, I don't think you could win a championship with him as your best player.
Absolutely.
I don't think you can.
So let's say Chicago hits you up and say, hey, we got this frustrated dude over here. This light-skinned motherfucker won't stop whining about him not getting enough touches. We need a point guard. I give you Zach LaVine for Trae Young.
No, you don't trade. You want to pair Trae with Zach. You don't trade for Zach.
Man, both of the teams
it doesn't do anything for either team.
Yeah, it doesn't do that. Both of them gonna be mid regardless. You might as well get.
No,
you have DeJounte Murray, who's a true point guard, Zach LaVine, who's a true shooting guard. You have Trae Young, who's a true point guard, DeMar DeRozan, who's a forward, and you still keep.
Honestly, I think both those teams are about the same place they are right now. Like
absolutely,
they might flip. They might flip. Yeah,
if the Bulls were to get Trae and keep Zach, they'll still be the same.
No.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
No, I was talking about the trade. If they do that trade, they'll probably be the same.
Oh, trade for Zach.
Yeah, both of them was a playing team.
Yeah.
So
I don't think either team really gets an improvement really out of that. So now if you can get like,
I'm not. No, you actually. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, Drew, I think they would probably get better though. As far as Chicago goes, I think they would get just a little bit better They would at least get that continuity offensively that they've been looking for. They get worse defensively though. Like there's no doubt about that. Like there's anybody that has Trae Young at the head of the Sixers.
I think Trae would. If Trae
because then they got playoff DeRozan still.
Trae is but they got Ice Trae now.
Yeah, we don't know what Ice Trae is.
Have you seen?
Trae just make sure that you go up against the Knicks in the playoffs. And
have you seen Trae Young his past like 10 playoff games? Still this dog water.
Really, Trae Young's his whole playoff resume hinges on that Knicks series.
The Knicks series. Yeah. Because he was not great versus Philly. Versus Milwaukee.
Against the Bucks, he was pretty good until he got hurt. He was really good.
I was gonna say he had that injury versus the Bucks, but he wasn't. He was.
Yeah, it was. Nah, don't cap. He was going crazy in game one.
He was good for like a game
and a half.
Okay, but
and
the Sixers series was just Ben Simmons.
Sixers series, we're not even gonna talk about. That's not on Ice Trae. That's not on Ice Trae's resume, bro.
Even last year versus Miami, he was a disgrace. But he did.
That was Miami. Was like, who else did he have on that team?
I feel you.
That Hawks team was so like.
But
you want to talk about mid? That was a mid team.
But I will give him credit for this. The last couple seasons, I didn't think he was able to get that team to the playoffs, and he been getting them there.
Barely.
I didn't think they were gonna beat the Heat this year, but they did. And I forgot who they beat last year. Cleveland. I didn't think they was gonna beat Cleveland, but he went out there. And he balled
playing champs.
No, but that Hawks team, that Hawks win versus the Miami Heat wasn't truly Trae Young. But that was the reason. It was Clint Capella.
Yeah, it was Capella, but he's been the best player on the team.
He has not. This year he has not. He hasn't. It's DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray has been better.
Honestly, you can make a case that's probably the case.
DeJounte Murray has been better.
I say Trae.
You can argue that only because Trae's been just so inefficient.
Yeah, he made a regression in his efficiency, but
Trae Young has been inefficient. He's been clumsy with the ball more times than any other year in his young career. Defensively, let's not even talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. He's still like probably the worst defender in the league.
Nah, Damian Lillard give him a run for his money, but
he worse than Damian, man.
But DeJounte Murray, with the way that he's been having this defensive lineup in sync when he's on the court by himself, no Trae Young, he gets to have DeAndre Hunter on the floor. He gets to have Clint Capella on the floor. He gets to have a Kongu there. Anybody you pair next to DeJounte Murray is producing defensively as well as producing at least some semi-efficient offense. Whereas Trae Young, he's getting the ball, and you don't know whether he's going to make a great play or if he's going to chuck that bitch from half court. So, we doing this? We're gonna trade him, right? We're gonna trade him, right, Desto? You on board, right?
Hey, I'm with it because I like Drew said, I don't think he can be the best player.
Get him out of here
on a championship team, but. I mean, at that point, it's like I say you got to blow the whole team. I mean, I guess you can keep.
Why?
I mean, it's like
y'all was mid before. What are
you doing? I don't think DeJounte can be the best player on the team on the championship.
I think if you pair DeJounte, I think DeJounte Murray can be. I think you can with DeJounte Murray, Clint Capella, and you would likely trade him for a Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine caliber player. Not those players specifically, but that caliber player. Mm-hmm. You could build a semi. You could basically build what you had in Atlanta, the 2015 season, where they just struck iron while the iron was hot. And
when they had Teague and Kyle Korver.
Like you could pull something off of that ilk. DeJounte Murray can get you to the playoffs just as much as Trae Young can.
Yeah, I mean, this depends. This depends who around him, like you said.
He's not going to put up numbers Trae Young is going to put up, but DeJounte Murray is fully capable of leading your team as long as you give him competent pieces. See, the problem is when he was playing in San Antonio, he didn't have competent pieces. Yep. He was playing with a team of young ragtag groups. Greg Popovich was babysitting. So he didn't really have much. He didn't really have much to be able to do when he came back from the ACL injury.
You think DeJounte is better than Trae Young?
I think DeJounte Murray is a better talent than Trae Young. Yes.
Okay.
I think he's a better talent because he plays defense, and he's more smarter with his decisions.
I think Trey is a better talent, but I think DeJounte is a more consistent player.
So would you agree that DeJounte Murray as a point guard, he has a higher IQ than Trae Young?
I don't think so. I think the problem with Trae Young is just that like it's his inefficiency. Like he's every year to year you don't know what you're gonna get from him as far as a scorer. He's not a good finisher at the rim, and he's not a good finisher at the rim.
He loves to do or die.
Everything you're saying that he's bad at, DeJounte Murray's good at.
No. DeJounte Murray's better.
Yeah.
I would say but like I wouldn't. But the thing is,
DeJounte Murray is he's a good finisher. He's a good finisher.
Yeah, but he's not. He's also not a good 3-point shooter as well.
He's not a good 3-point shooter, but
yeah, I'd have to check them. They're both.
He's really good at getting to his spot in the mid range, though.
Yeah, he's a good mid range shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Trae Young though, like, so the things that like as far as I know, we can call it what it is. We might not like it, but he's really good against the free throw line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his ability to play make and create for others, I think, is a level above Trae Young's.
Is on a level above DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, above DeJounte Murray. And
I'll give you that.
And I feel like so like
he's a better passer and playmaker.
Yeah, and so
but it's not by much.
Yeah, but I feel like the consistency you get from DeJounte is not like elite level, really.
Yeah,
but it's consistency. That's the key word. You're not getting consistency from Trae Young.
Is consistent.
Like ideally though, like if you can get a consistent Trae Young,
but it's not ideal because you haven't got it.
No. But like, we've had it in stretches. Like he's had it in stretches.
Okay, you've had it in stretches versus a player that from the beginning of the season all the way to now has been the same player. DeJounte Murray has not wavered. He had hot streaks where he was hitting from the 3-point line.
I would say his 3-point shooting is waver. Like he had like a stretch where he was shooting it really well.
Yeah.
He came back down to earth.
But you know what you're getting from DeJounte. You know you're getting him playing hard on defense. You know you're getting him making the right play the majority of the time. You know that with him having the ball in his hand is not going to result in him chucking some crazy ass shot. With Trae Young, can you say the same from start to finish?
No, but Trae Young can have stretches.
If we this season, but I don't want to.
No, it's not just this season. Even the season where they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, you do realize that for much of that season they were absolute dog shit, right?
Yeah, they turned it on late
until they made the trade. Until they fired the head coach.
Nate McMillan, and then they went on that run. Yeah. So, and by the way, it was not because of Trae Young turning into this awesome player. He was the same player back. He was the same player in the start of the season to the moment where they got to the Eastern Conference Final and he rolled his ankle. The difference was Nate McMillan said, "Okay, you are who you are, but y'all could be better defensively. So I'm gonna work with these guys. And let you do what the hell you do."
Capella was the biggest difference in that change.
Yes. Getting Clint Capella did make a difference because they needed to buff up the front line. But I'm saying that to say, the Atlanta Hawks have always been mid to a bad team, and Trae Young ain't moving the needle. If you move Trae Young on and you keep DeJounte Murray, who's better defensively, who's going to make smart plays, and you don't have to wonder about him having a stretch with either the regular season or going towards the finish line of the end of the season, whether he's going to end up turning into what the hell is this? I'm going to do that. I'm going to give Trae up to whoever so that I can get whatever pieces I can so that I can make this roster better and make DeJounte Murray the head of the franchise, at least for the time being.
Yeah, it depends on what you get for him because
you're going to get something for Trae.
If DeJounte's still going to be the best player, I just don't see it doesn't really matter.
So you're saying the only way you're trading Trae Young is if you're getting a piece that's legitimately better than DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
I disagree. I disagree.
Or if I can get like a if I'm trying to like just kind of do a rebuild or something and try and get a lot of picks for him. But like, do I think that
I'm never against a rebuild. If you're not gonna win a championship, then what are we doing? But
to me, like the only guy I think that like it would have to be somebody that's older to get somebody better, and it would probably be like I don't think it's gonna happen. It'd probably be somebody like Dame. But I don't think that they would.
Why would you trade one little dude for another little dude?
Yeah, Dame is a better little dude though.
Yeah,
Dame is better. Dame is better, but
yeah, I kind of second what Drew say right there. I think it would help. Let's say like they were to trade somebody, but DeJounte is still your number 2. But you bring in like a star wing player. Let's say I'm just throwing a name out there, but let's just say they got like Brandon Ingram or something like that for like Trae Young, or I don't know.
That would be a bad fuck trade right there, Des.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because like that way DeJounte he'll still be your point guard.
He's up that level. He's up. Yeah.
And you'll bring in a guy who can fit right next to him, a 6'9" wing like Brandon Ingram, somebody who get buckets, who can make his own right, and and I think that it'll fit better than you just having this backcourt with this 6'1" point guard like Trae Young who needs the ball in his hands to be effective. But DeJounte, he's kind of playing like out of position in a way, like
because they got him playing the 2 and he's truthfully a 1.
It'll be way more comfortable for him playing with that, and then playing with a wing like Brandon Ingram or something like that. That's just a name I threw out there, but that's what I think. I think that's what Drew was trying to get to. But bringing in like other role players and have DeJounte be the one, I don't know if that's ideal for the Hawks. But man,
you're a bigger believer in DeJounte than you, man. He gonna have to do a lot more for me to be that high on DeJounte.
I don't understand why y'all. I don't understand what part of DeJounte.
No, DeJounte is an excellent
player.
No, I'm about to say what part of DeJounte just being a better defender. He's a better defender and a better and yeah, he's not a better playmaker, but it's not by far. And this year specifically, he's a better scorer.
I don't know about that one.
Trae Young is the definition of volume merchant. He is a volume merchant.
I feel you. But if you specifically talking about efficiency,
I have a question. Do you think if Trae Young wasn't on the Hawks, but instead, so that year that they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, I know there was some, whatever. But that year they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, if they had DeJounte instead of Trae Young, do you think they still have the same postseason?
Yes.
If they had DeJounte instead of Trae Young?
Yes. Because I think the main reason why they were able to do that is because of circumstances. I think they went up against New York, which was an ideal matchup because they had wings that could be able to guard and shut down Julius Randle. And once you shut down Julius Randle, there was nobody else on that team outside of Derrick Rose, who was like 30 something at that point. I think it was like 31, 32. Yeah. Coming off the bench, and are you really trusting RJ Barrett? And so I think they were going to win that one rather the same amount of easiness that having Trae Young did. I think he went up against 76ers, and we talked about that earlier. It was Ben Simmons that basically gave the game up. But even if Ben Simmons didn't give the game up, I think that the Atlanta Hawks offense probably would have ran just as fluid because DeJounte Murray wouldn't have taken so many ill-advised jump shots. It wouldn't have been that much of a struggle because instead of being 6'1", he's 6'5". He could be able to get to the rim. He could be able to get a few fouls. Not as many fouls as Trae Young did, but he could still be able to get some fouls. And he's still playmaking. Again, the playmaking is not that big of a discrepancy between the two. And then against Milwaukee, they lost in 6 anyway. So like, what's the difference between 6 and 5?
I think so. I mean, I think I could. I think that they would probably still beat the Knicks. I think it might be a longer series potentially because Trae Young was not that good. But he was clutch. He was clutch in that series.
He was clutch, But DeJounte Murray,
But,
you telling me DeJounte Murray couldn't pull that off instead of pulling up instead of 3-pointers, could pull it off from the mid range? Like we've seen games this season alone where in the offense, in the Nate McMillan offense before they brought in Quinn Snyder, he was able to get hot like very quickly from the mid range. So like you telling me he couldn't be able to do that against a Knicks defense?
Possibly. No, I think they probably could still win. I'd probably still have them winning. I think it'd probably be a longer series though. But the thing is with the Sixers series, I'm a little bit iffy on that one. Like I feel like they could have lost that one. There's so many things to go into that because even though Trae Young didn't like overall his averages weren't great, but he had some big key scoring performances in that series. As far as I don't know if DeJounte is going to be able to do necessarily.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a ceiling on as a playmaker and scorer. Just simply to the fact that he isn't a good outside shooter. He is good at getting to his mid range. I think Trae's playmaking is elite. Like it's really. I think DeJounte is a really good playmaker. But I think Trae is on like one of the upper echelon of playmakers in the league, and on top of his range. This
if Trae Young's playmaking is a 10, what is DeJounte's?
Maybe about a 7.5, 8.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I put it about there. Yeah,
I'll probably say.
I think it's definitely things that Trae he sees. It's just his angles when he's coming off screen and rolls, his lobs. Way to find
because he's so low to the ground. He's it's almost Chris Paul like the things he's able to see.
I kind of see some Steve Nash in him too.
Yeah,
like that's a good comparison too. Yeah.
Well, when I see Trae, so I don't know. It's a little difficult to make that conversation because make that comparison. But I do think pairing DeJounte with a guy who's like is equally as good as Trae, but plays a different position could bode well for him and the Hawks. You know, if you just want to move Trae, because I think Trae talent wise is up there with some other guys, but his fit with DeJounte, I don't know if it's just extremely ideal just because they are backcourt together. But you know, maybe that's just me. I don't know.
See, my thing is, I think like hearing y'all talk about it, I think where we're separating is we don't disagree that Trae Young is the better playmaker, and we don't disagree that Trae Young not only is the better playmaker between him and DeJounte Murray, he's probably like a top 3 playmaker in the league right now. What I'm disagreeing with you guys on is it's not just cut and dry as his vision in his passing. It's also his willing to pass the ball, his purpose within passing the ball. See, when we watching Atlanta offense, when Trae Young is coming down court, Trae Young is coming down the court for him to do something flashy. That's what I see.
I think he definitely wants to shoot.
When I see Trae Young coming down the court, he's doing something that benefits him either in the stat sheet or benefits him in the manner of he gonna end up on ESPN for doing some crazy shit. Mm-hmm. When it comes to DeJounte Murray has a purpose of doing. He's passing the ball with the purpose of getting to the open person so they can knock the shot down, so we can get 2 or 3 points on the board. That's my problem with Trae Young. That's why I have DeJounte Murray up right there with Trae Young. Trae Young's talent-wise is, it's not even close between him and DeJounte Murray versus by what Trae Young sees and the way in which he's able to accurately get the ball to the person. My problem is he don't do that. He don't do that frequently, and DeJounte Murray do, and that's my point.
To me, I would maybe give it one more year with Trae, see how he plays this upcoming season. If he's still the same guy, because I just like we've seen him. I feel like his ceiling is a lot higher than DeJounte's. Like his ceiling as a
That's
scorer,
true.
his ceiling as a playmaker. The problem is just it's the lack of consistency.
Lack of
And
consistency.
it's like, yeah, and he's been in the league. What is it, like his fifth year? This was, I think, his fifth season, right? I feel like usually at this point in someone's career, they kind of are pretty much what they're going to be usually from a consistency standpoint. But I still would probably give it one more year just because the potential offensively is so good.
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking in my head, I'm like, he better not mention defense because I'm gonna kill him.
No, because I just don't. I would give it one more year just because I don't know if there's a lot that you can get back for him that's really going to move the needle, like to take you from what a first round exit to a second round exit. I don't even think that there's a move they can make to even make them get that, to improve that much.
Okay, if we're being honest with ourselves, right? What did Cleveland do? Right, so they built the young core of Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. They made it a trade for Jared Allen from Brooklyn, and then that
was a lot of stuff though. Like it
was a lot of stuff. Yeah. So
they hit on multiple,
but I'm saying
they hit on multiple draft picks and
Well, they obviously those things came into it, but that wasn't what got them. Was that what got them Donovan Mitchell? Yeah, it was because Utah got a lot of draft picks and a lot of draft conversation. So, but what I'm saying is, who's to say? Because I think it's fair to say Trae Young is of the same talent level in the league as Donovan Mitchell, right? So logically, if you're making that trade, you're going to be looking for the same package that Donovan Mitchell got, right? If I'm Atlanta, at the very least.
Yeah, but that's like a rebuild type package.
That I don't think that you have to make I don't think that you have to make trades with the idea of, making of completely rebuilding. Like if I'm trading you for trade, if I'm trading Trae Young, right? And let's say I'm going to Chicago for Zach LaVine. I want Zach LaVine, and I'll just take Zach LaVine.
You said Zach LaVine, but if you're saying a Donovan Mitchell type package, Donovan Mitchell went for Colin Sexton, who was coming off.
Colin Sexton, he went for Lauri Markkanen. He went for
Lauri Markkanen. It was Ochai, who's a rookie.
But I'm saying, and I think he took that pick for Walker, right?
No, that came from
Minnesota, right?
From Minnesota. But yeah, it was just that was like a.
So you took 3 players, and I think you took 4 picks.
You
took 3 picks. You took 3 picks.
And by the way, nobody knew marketing was going to be this. So
no, that's true. That's true.
But you're saying Zach LaVine, you're trying.
I will give you Trae Young.
Yeah, but
and whatever side piece you want, right? So I'm gonna give you the main course, whatever side piece you want, but you giving me Zach LaVine and this pick and this pick. So that's Zach LaVine and 2 picks, whether it be a first and second rounder, or whether it be 2 second rounds, or whatever, for Trae Young, and they might want a reservation pick, like a reserve player or something like that. To be quite honest with you, that is a good like starting point. So you have your 2 corner pieces in DeJounte Murray, Zach LaVine. We agree they can't win a championship with that. But Cleveland can't win a championship with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell being at the front. They can't. Let's keep it a stack. There's no way in hell Cleveland is winning a championship with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell outside of Evan Mobley finally going.
Are you talking about this? Are you talking about this year? No.
I'm saying as currently constructed, seeing what we've been seeing so far, what leads you to believe that Evan Mobley is going to build an offensive package?
I mean that's the
if. That's the if. If that happens, then they turn into a title contender.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's that likely.
But that team has a much higher ceiling than
No.
This is the starting point, because that didn't happen overnight. That was I want to say that was 5 years in the making. When LeBron left in 2018, that's when that got into the fold. So that's 5 years of that working out. So you're looking at Atlanta, you trade Trae Young, you have DeJounte Murray. He's young. He's 23? 24?
Nah.
He our age, John does?
I think he's older than that. I think he's like probably 25, 26.
Something like that. But he's still
relatively young. So you're trading for Zach LaVine. You still have Clint Capella. You have Sadiq Bey. You have DeAndre Hunter. You have AJ Griffin. You have assets for if you want to, you can go out for another player. Or if you stay with this core piece, with these core pieces, you could still be a mid-team. Ain't nothing wrong with being a mid-team for a little bit as long as you're progressing. That's my problem. Atlanta is in a situation right now where with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray at the forefront, they don't have enough money for them to go out and make no trades. They don't have any draft capital for them to be able to go out and make a big trade that way. And they're going to be mid, so they're not going to be able to get a high draft pick. So they're really in a lose-lose situation because you're not winning the championship and you're not getting a future cornerstone piece.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the worst place to be in the NBA. Stuck in the middle.
Absolutely. Ask the Hornets. But
I'm not sure exactly where they be because I don't even know if they have because you're talking about like the Bulls, but I don't even know if the Bulls really can give them any.
Well, that's just an example.
Oh,
that's just an example. But if you went for an actual piece, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami looking to shop somebody after this season. I would be surprised if they looking to shop somebody.
Honestly, I would run it back one more year, see what you can do. Probably going to be same result, but just to see what.
I would run it back 1 year just so you could build up.
But most likely I would probably just blow the whole thing up. I would trade Trae. I would try and just like start the whole thing over. Try and get as many picks as you can. Just like reboot this thing.
There's nothing wrong with being
they signed Trae. I was looking at his contract. He's going to be on a 5-year, $40 million a year deal starting next year. It's like 43 million next year. So yeah, they got him for a while.
But I mean, Drew, the good thing is he's putting up quality numbers. Well, I wouldn't say quality numbers, but he's putting up numbers.
Averages. His averages are quality.
His averages are
his efficiency.
It looks pretty. Let's say that. It looks pretty. The cover looks pretty until you read the book. So they can be able to sell that to other franchises to be able to buy in on, hey, get this point guard off.
He's extremely young too, so there's definitely going to be teams out there.
Somebody that's going to
sell you. That's going to sell you the farm to get Trae Young. Absolutely, I could definitely see multiple teams willing to be like, oh yeah, like a young, like high scoring guard. He could be the face of our franchise.
And to be fair to Trae Young, I'm hard on Trae Young because of the way he's been acting in the Atlanta franchise. But we all know how much of a nincompoop the Atlanta Hawks franchise has always been. So, like, who's to say he goes to a more stable franchise and they actually, get him to act right? It's possible. I mean, he's still young. Like, it doesn't take that much for you to be able to, sway somebody to be able to, act the way in which you need to be. This is a business. But
to me, like, you'd have to really have to maximize success with Trae Young, he has to be the second best player to me. Yeah, he has to end up in a situation where somebody is the best player.
At bare minimum, he has to be second.
Yeah, I just don't think when it comes to a postseason run, I don't think the stuff that he does translates well over the course of multiple series after series. His scoring, it's just he relies on so much shooting variance, right? It's just is this chucking gonna go in tonight? Or is it not? And if am I gonna get to the free throw line? He does a lot of foul baiting as well, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
In this sense, it might sound a little nasty, but in this sense, hopefully y'all understand what I mean. He's sort of like the same. He's a higher level than not even in the same stratosphere, but he got the same problem that Jordan Poole has. Whereas if he's not effective offensively, what is he giving you?
Yeah, I think Jordan Poole,
but Jordan Poole is like a role player basically. That's
No, but Drew, I said, come on, man.
Yeah, but you're never gonna be relying on Jordan Poole to have to do.
No, you're not gonna. No, but I'm saying you don't want to rely on Trae. You don't want to rely your offense on Trae specifically. You don't want to rely on him. You want his playmaking to be a pivotal piece, but you don't want to have to rely on him to produce 30 points per game.
Yeah.
Like what Atlanta has him having to do is ludicrous. To ask somebody to ask somebody to do what James Harden did for the Houston Rockets.
I think Trey would be best if he was. Let's say if he was with the Clippers and he had Kawhi and PG with him,
he would look entirely better.
That would be perfect.
That would be the perfect situation.
I think that would be perfect for Trey.
That would be the perfect situation
because he's. I mean, him running the offense with those elite wings.
That's a title. No, that's a title favorite. It's a title favorite.
Yeah, as long as health and stuff.
Or even
obviously as far as health.
I was gonna say even if he was with if he was with Boston, if he was with Tatum and Brown, like something like that, I think that would be
because they need playmaking. They need playmaking too.
Yeah, and I would say that's what he needs, like players who are better than him, but he still can play an efficient type of role where he can play make. He'll have he won't have to work as hard for his shots. He can play off the ball a lot more. And they are defenders, so he's able to kind of hide them defensively as much as you can, But I think that's ideal situationally for him.
You send him to Miami. I think that would be just as ideal too. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, that lob threat that he has with Clint Capella, that would Bam, and he gets a playmaker and Bam, a capable playmaker and Bam and Jimmy Butler that can allow him to play more off ball. He has a head coach that's actually competent enough to know how to put him in position to be successful offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Miami a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of teams that he could be way better on. I just think for Atlanta, Atlanta reminds me of? Atlanta reminds me of the last 2 years, and that's Drew, you in Houston?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, so both of y'all know exactly what I mean when I say this. The last 2 years of the Houston Rockets with James Harden, the way that the head coach just basically put the ball in James Harden's hand and said, "Make magic."
You talking about with D'Antoni?
Yeah, even with D'Antoni, like the 17 and 18 season, the 16, 17 and 17, 18 season, the D'Antoni was actually running a offense that was fluid. That year that Chris Paul got hurt,
Trey is a bit heliocentric as well. I'll say that.
He is, but I think that Atlanta has him doing stuff that you shouldn't ask a player to do. I don't care who he is.
No, I mean, yeah, but I think a lot of it's also because Trey's not capable of doing some of that stuff consistently. That's what it comes back to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when they signed DeJounte, I feel like they were trying to do what the Rockets did with Harden and
CP3.
But the problem is that neither one of those guys are half as good as the guy that they're trying to imitate. But I feel like that's what they were looking for. Like they were like, oh, like this worked. Like we when the Rockets had Harden and they one of the issues was Harden wearing down, having to carry that load into the playoffs over the course of a series, teams keying in on him, not having that other playmaker. So like we got Chris Paul, and Chris Paul helped ease that load. Harden was able to rest some, and Harden was able to get easier opportunities for himself. And also both those guys could play off of each other, and they could both catch and shoot in the when they needed to, right? From three as well. But with Trey's not nearly as dynamic as an offensive player as Harden when it comes to scoring, right? He gets to the line, but his 3-point shooting is a lot more inconsistent. His ability to get to the rim is nowhere close. And neither one of those guys are knockdown 3-point shooters, right? Like catch and shoot guys either.
Yeah.
And so like they don't play.
And they don't have the pieces around them for them to be able to have that spread offense.
Yeah. And so like, just like I feel like that's what they were trying to do. It's just not working. I thought it would work out better than what it has been, but I didn't really think it was gonna take them into a deep playoff run or anything like that.
I didn't think it was going to work out for the reasons that it hasn't worked out. One, because they had the wrong coach to do it early in the season. Nate McMillan is a defensive coach. He is not an offensive coach. I don't know why they even tried to correlate that happening between the two. Like Nate McMillan was just going to be able to like all of a sudden just be able to group together some amazing offense. He should have been the assistant coach, and they should have got a Quinn Snyder.
Yeah, Quinn Snyder was a good pickup, but yeah,
Quinn Snyder was a great pickup.
That's why I actually wanted the Rockets to get. So,
you know what? I heard rumors last season about Nick Nurse.
Yeah, and this
possibly leaving, and so I figured the next time.
Yeah, there's rumors right now. Like he's probably going to end up. I mean,
with the Eastern job, right?
Yeah,
well, no. They're interviewing Ime.
They're interviewing Ime, but I think they had like he's on the list if he wants, to leave the Raptors, which I think he might.
So who you think probably is the better position for this young team?
The list was Udoka, it was Vogel, Nurse, and Kenny Atkinson, and
Kenny Atkinson.
I think all those.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Kenny Atkinson is sleeper.
I probably would lean. I don't know. I think all those are pretty good.
Honestly, out of those guys, I would put Udoka as the last one I would want. And I still wouldn't be against getting him. Like but I would rather.
All of them are good picks. All of them are good picks.
Yeah. The only reason why I say last one is because I feel like I could just see it now. As soon as the Rockets sign him, somebody's sitting on the real story about what happened. I could literally see Bill Simmons. Here's what actually happened. We got the breaking news story on the Ringer. Here's the real shit that Udoka was doing or something with this outside. Yeah.
It's like while y'all thought he was on suspension, he was still fucking his wife.
And it's like, oh shit, he did what? and then I feel like the potential for a distraction with what he did as his first and only year as a head coach. Let's remember that. You're 1 year as a head coach, and that's what you did. All right. Like you got caught up in shit like that. That to me is a red flag. And you got a young ass team that needs like structure and like
stability,
direction, and somebody that's going to be able to like command the locker room. Because I don't feel like that's something that Silas can
do. They can respect, not somebody that when they come into the locker room.
They're gonna see Ime, KPJ, and Jalen Green at V Live.
Just imagine that as soon as he signed and he closed the door and he gives the whole team a rah-rah speech. They'd be like, nah, but for real though, did you do
it? That's another thing with like this young team. I could see that being a thing.
No, for real.
I can see that being like a topic. Like I can see them like getting mad or upset and then bringing that shit up, throwing that shit in his face, right? I can see KP, like any one of these young dudes, is like being like, "Yeah, that's why you."
Like, yeah, no, for real, because there's gonna be moments where y'all gonna get in the heated arguments.
Yeah,
KPJ out of all of them is liable to say some shit.
There could be some disrespect with that being thrown back at him.
Yeah,
right, and like it can cause like some issues with like them not listening to. I could see too many possibilities for something bad. Now, if everything works out great, like they just like buy in and like he just like transfers everything that he was doing over there in Boston immediately, like, yeah, then it could work out. But like, I feel like for me, I'd rather have Nurse, I'd rather have Vogel, even, but Nurse would be number one for me out of those guys, and then Kenny Atkinson would probably be third. But I'm hoping that Nurse leaves the Raptors.
That's my thing. I feel like Nick Nurse is number one. I think Frank Vogel should be last on that list. Like last morning, just because I don't think
I like Vogel. I think
I like Vogel too. I agree. I think all of these coaches are
he gets a bad rap for that last season in LA.
Yeah, and I don't think that was his fault at all.
I don't think that was his fault either. I don't hold it against him. I just feel like I think Frank Vogel is going to mainly coach them defensively.
Yeah,
they need a coach that's going to not only teach them the fundamentals of team defense, but also get them to actually have a constructive offense.
That's what I think.
And that's why I think Kenny Atkinson should be at the top of the list.
I'd have number. I probably have number two because he is good at developing young talent. Like he helped do that in Brooklyn that first go around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
in a matter of 2 seasons.
I think it depends who Vogel has as his on his coaching staff.
Yeah.
I think
as assistants.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine Houston, whoever they sign, they give them the keys to be able to pick their assistant coaches. I think the days of I think that should be with any team. And when you hire a head coach, you should give them the ability for them to decide who they want. On the side of them, because that's the people that they have to trust. That I don't want nobody on the side of me that if something goes wrong, they're gonna sneak behind me to go tell boss man, hey, I think you should let him go and make me head coach. I can really do something out here. No, I don't think they'll do that.
That's the Ty Lue, Doc Rivers situation.
Ty Lue especially.
Ty Lue did that twice, really. He did that to David Blatt.
Nah, Ron did that for Ty Lue and David Blatt.
He did it to Doc Rivers.
Yeah, I think he really did that to Doc Rivers. I think he was looking at Doc Rivers. He was like, nigga, you lost a 3-1 lead to these niggas? Hey, man, get this man up out of here. Steve Ballmer up in the stands. He talking about some, you fired.
Yeah, I remember I saw it was a press conference. I want to say it might have been, was it before? Either was it the end of the last game of the season or the after the game one? I think it was last game of the season. They asked Doc Rivers about the outlook of the team, where do you think this team compares to the other team you coach? And they said, do you think it's more in line with the Celtics team that you coached or the Clippers team? And he was saying I think it's more in line with that Boston team because these guys really like each other. They play together, and that Clippers team, we just didn't really like each other. He just so he's like
we were never gonna win, or something like that.
Yeah, he's like we're never gonna win because he basically said we were never gonna win because we didn't like each other on that team.
And JJ Redick, he got on Twitter. He made a comment about it, something like that.
Who?
Yeah,
JJ
Redick.
Oh wow.
Wait, I didn't even know he would comment on it.
Yeah.
That killed me. That he said that. He's like, that Clippers team just didn't like each other.
Look, JJ Redick was probably like, nah, we just did like you. Like you.
I ain't gonna cap y'all boys. I am tired.
I saw you had to rub your eyes a couple times.
Man. Yeah, man. I had to go live once I saw that Draymond. I was like, we got to talk about this ASAP. But Justin, I appreciate you putting up.
Hey man, y'all, bro. Yeah, the work y'all putting in there.
Yeah, before we close it, I want to make sure whoever watched this episode, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and follow us on IG at Double Dribble Pod. Man, that's a wrap, man. Peace.
Sir. I just
man, I gotta.